Thank you so much for watching and listening this Qhht session, and I want to thank the client so much. I have so much gratitude for her giving me permission to share this session. I never put anything too personal in it, so I'll never disclose names or anything like that. But in this session, she came to me because she was sort of at a loss to what the answers to her problems were. It sort of got to a point where the doctors gave her absolutely every test in their arsenal. So it got to a point where they said, in a week's time, we're actually going to hook her up. They were going to hook her up to a machine, and it had all these plugs and wires and stuff to it, and it was going all through her heart, and it was plugged up to her head, and she had to wear that for 24 hours a day for 7 days. So she booked in a session because she wanted to get to the answers and get to the cause. Now, I'll just read through. She emailed me, and this is just why we absolutely adore doing this. I am so blessed to do this. I'm so grateful, and I just can't thank Dolores Cannon enough for teaching me how to do this. I'm just so grateful. But here's her message, because it covers what was going on in her life. Hi John, I am beyond grateful for our session. I walked off your chair feeling absolutely amazing, and each day since then has been better and better. I felt so grounded and yet very peaceful straight after the session. Before this session, I would have been in bed for up to 22 hours a day in pain, chronic pain, bone deep in my legs, incredibly fatigued, and terrible vertigo and mobility imbalances. My partner is in absolute awe now. So she was in a really bad way. To go anywhere, I would have to take a ton of supplements 2 to 3 times more than I would normally, and that's a lot. And to go out anywhere, I would have to sleep days beforehand, and sometimes up to 3 days in bed before going out. Yesterday, I want to tell you, I was in so much joy. I would spontaneously laugh and enjoy and dance. I used to, a long time ago, dance 4 to 6 hours a week and haven't done so for so long. I feel so expansive and electric. I've been in deep reverence to my experience and to the earth, feeling more and more connected than ever. I bought the clay immediately after our session and have started taking it. I did some research, and it is bang on for what I need. Absolutely 100% spot on. I love that I'm eating a piece of the earth each day, which is surprising. It actually tastes very mild and pleasant. I knew I could tell myself what was going on, and I knew you would be the magician. I should call me a magician. To hold that space and make it all possible to access those parts of myself. I'm going to enjoy the next few days before I really amp things up. And she just goes on and she just thanks me so much. So that's a fair idea of what was going on in her life, and she just wanted the answers, and the answers in this is so amazing in the session. So I'll just run through a little bit about what happened in the session here. She starts off straight away, and the first scene that she's in, she's basically her soul essence, and she's choosing whether she wants this life that she's currently living now, or as a male that's a really wise male that's just cruising through life and life's easy. Maybe she was going to choose my life. I don't know. And then, so after that, and then she finds herself in this temple. And this is really, really fascinating, because she finds herself in this temple and she's being taught by these teachers. and she actually finds out that she's a third generation Arcturian come down to Earth, which is super fascinating. I was trying to get some information out of the teachers, but they never seem to speak that much, but I always try. And then after that, it really ties in to what happens in her life and what's causing all these problems. And it's just so beautiful how her subconscious just explains everything to her on such a huge scale that there's no way that the conscious mind could even conceive what's really going on with our whole soul's evolution right back from the beginning of time. And then once it's understood, and when it's ready to go, it just disappears. The problem disappears. But even better than that, the subconscious told her exactly what to take to get rid of all the residue. So it told her exactly what to take, how much to take, and for how long to take it for, and the effects that she's going to feel during it while she's taking it. Now, please, this is what I've found is it's such an individual recipe. So if you're going through these same symptoms, please go and have a session yourself, because your higher self or your subconscious could give you a different recipe. So this is very much for the individual person, and I'm just so grateful for doing what I do, and I just love these QHHT sessions. I'm just so grateful, and I really hope that you enjoy this session. It's practically the whole lot from start to finish. And so, as with all of my sessions that I post on YouTube, if you just close your eyes, and she was so amazing because she was describing everything in so much detail. So if you close your eyes, you'll actually get a picture of what she's saying. So I really hope you enjoy it, and feel free to comment in the comments below, and I'll send a link to my website. So if you ever want to get in contact with me, just jump on the website and the contact details are there, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions. And please feel free to like it and subscribe, and I'll be posting more videos. So thank you so much.
I feel like I'm going to go more towards like being born the girl.
Yeah. Why?
A harder life. I'll tune in. Initially it feels like because the rewards will be greater. Like it's harder, and as a soul I kind of like to have the challenge. It's, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just need a moment to tune into why.
That's okay.
Yeah, it feels like she's going to have like a lot of family issues growing up, and it will shape her in more like I'm being shown it will shape her like a diamond, you know, like a diamond in the rough, and all these things happening in her childhood is to really make her shine later in life. And that feels on the soul level more fulfilling than this easy life, like where everything's kind of given to me because of my knowings.
I see. So what's going to happen to her as a child?
It feels like she'll be exposed to, you know, some harder issues, like some domestic violence in the family, like not to her. Like she's always going to be protected, it feels. And like
she's going to witness it, sort of thing?
She'll witness it. Yeah, she'll be okay and protected. She's got angels with her. Oh. And but yeah, she will definitely like witness these things to other people, and because of the amnesia, she won't quite know how to deal with that yet.
I see.
But it will. I keep on being shown this diamond, and I'm really being guided to become that diamond, to choose this life.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what else is going to happen to her in that life?
It feels like when you ask that question, like the visual that comes up is a really rough sea. It's like going through the storm. But she forgets she's, you know, well, she has a knowing. She'll have this knowing she is safe. Like no matter how bad the storm gets in her life, as a metaphor, like her boat will keep her safe.
She'll remember that it's
but
safe.
It will be really wishy-washy and lots of different weather is what I've been shown, like days where it's beautiful, like so beautiful. It's like the contrast of the storm to the beautiful days will feel worth it, kind of thing. But yeah, she'll be exposed to a lot of different walks of life, like lots of different people she'll meet on her journey. Like she'll start to understand humanity, you know, as separate beings but as a whole, like learning all the parts of what is the one.
I see. Okay. So what's there to gain out of that life then?
I just keep seeing the words like all one is what is to be gained. I think what is to be gained is just a higher understanding of all the parts of the puzzle, in a sense. It's like right now I don't have the answers, but I get visuals that come up. And so I literally see like, all the parts. I see a puzzle. It's like, as the older, if I chose that man who's just going to live a whole life feeling, you know,
pretty easy.
It's a breeze.
His boat ride's all calm and...
It's like he only holds one piece of the puzzle.
Oh, I see.
Okay. But choosing the girl, it's like a 1,000-piece puzzle.
There's lots of different experiences.
Yeah, and she's placing them. She's, you know, and yeah, she'll get to the stage where the picture becomes more full and there'll just be some gaps that she's just trying to work out. But yeah, it feels more encompassing.
I see. And tell me, so making that decision, whether to be the wise man or the girl, do you make that by yourself, or is there others that help you and advise you? Or?
No, it's 100% me. Like, I don't feel anyone else on that journey through that crystalline garden down that path. Like, although I feel the forest, I don't feel like I don't feel any other people like me there. Yeah, it's just me.
It's just your decision?
Yes, 100%.
So how do you feel like that life's going to go as the girl?
It's like it's going to be hard. Like, I can feel it in my body just like then. Like, I just want to hold her. But it's like it'll almost always be hard. But as the more puzzle pieces that come into connectedness, and she will start to remember that she is in that boat. She is surrounded by angels. She is safe. She is just an observer. But yeah, she keeps having to have the amnesia because otherwise she doesn't learn, like she's not going to have the feeling of the all one. She just really wants that feeling of the all one. But yeah, later in life it does get easier the more pieces that she has there.
So is she going to get amnesia on the way, like on her journey? Or is that just when she's born?
Yeah, it's like whenever she starts to see the fabric, the web that she is creating, like that. I keep coming back to the puzzle because it's easier for you to understand. It's like as she glimpses yes, like I've got 600 pieces now. I just, like I know where that piece is about to go. It's like she gets like a flash and she has to forget because that takes away from her experience. It's too much remembering. I kind of squirm just then thinking about that because I feel like I'm not explaining it that well, but
no, it's beautiful. That's beautifully put.
Yeah, she just keeps.
So why can't she remember?
She keeps like being so close to having the answer of the whole puzzle and like finishing it really fast, and it's like, no, you got to do it. Slow down.
Why? Why can't she just do it fast?
Because that's not what her soul wants. It's like that soul has done things fast a lot, really. Like she can be really fast at things, and she's always been like this. And it's like it's like if she was a chef making the soup, perhaps like she's just making it really slow and and low heat. Such funny like visuals that I have coming up to explain things, but it's like
That's beautiful.
it's like a slow cook like of that life.
That's not a quick zack.
Where she just shoots out like it's like she sees the whole piece and then the whole puzzle, and it's, you know, there's no point in, I guess, being in that life.
Okay. And you said you felt like you wanted to cuddle her before.
Yeah, because
cuddle if you want to.
yeah, because she forgets that she's protected. Like she forgets she's got these big angels on her side, and she's in that safe boat through the storm. Like she sometimes, because of that, because she is so interconnected, like walking through that jungle, like if say she was in that storm in that sea, she might forget there's no boat because she can feel directly the storm. She just feels everything so strong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And tell me more about the angels there on her side.
Yeah, she sometimes can see them. She when she does remember, she can ask for them to come. Like they're always there, but she can ask to see them. And she's driving, they're either side of the car, or if she's on the motorbike, they're with her. She can call them on, but she only really remembers that when she's like a bit scared. But they're always there. They really love her.
Do they?
Yeah, they're kind of like it's weird. It's kind of like they're cloaked, so no one can see them. So they're kind of like almost like shadows, but one's definitely like a man. He's kind of got long shoulder length hair, like a little bit of curl to it. And the other one is, I can't quite see his face. It's kind of like longer straight hair. Seems like a man as well. But it feels like they can morph. They can be whatever. But she just chooses to, like that protection energy, she chooses to name them as angels, to see them like that. But yeah, their energy can morph, like if she wanted them to be something else.
And tell me, have they been with her for a long time? Like just in that life, or other lives, or other experiences as well? Or?
Me for a while. They kind of, it's kind of hard to get that answer. It's like they're of me, but they're not of me. Like it's hard to communicate with them. They're just, like I know, it's like almost like I decided myself. Like I created them. They haven't always been with me. There was just at some point I chose to work with energy so that I had a reminder of like what protection feels like. And so I created in this life again. Like that's like the feeling looks like an angel. So yeah, I just kind of, I guess, manipulated energy, like worked with energy to and called that protection and decided that's what it would look like.
Was it your energy or was it an external energy?
Well, it feels like it comes from like the all existing energy. And that I feel like I've got skills in, I don't like using the word manipulating energy. I feel like there's a much more beautiful word for it. Creating. Well, it's already something there. Yeah. It's just naming it, because the energy can be transmuted and changed into anything.
Transmuting might be a nice
maybe word. It's not even like that. It's literally like the air and then grabbing like a handful and just naming it, this energy is this. And she, like is able, like has mastery in energy work and able to like name and describe things, and you can create anything from it.
So where did you learn that from?
Like I'm being taken to a very old temple. it's like the backstory feels like I've always had this ability, but in one life I really like mastered like the energy work. It's like I was in this temple and I just learned. It's like I learned from crystals in there. It's like they told me, they were like, well, we are just like energy, like we were like nothing. We were just, you know, someone decided we would be like adventuring or amethyst. And then, yeah, so she was in this temple being taught by the crystals and by kind of like I wanted to say elders, but they look young. Like they're this kind of...
Like a little bit wiser?
Bald-headed. Yeah, like almost timeless, ageless. They're, you know, that maybe look in their 20s, but they've got like no hair. And they're wearing robes. And although I probably look older than them, they are older than time. And they were my teachers in this
in the temple there?
In the temple.
Mm-hmm. So were you a female in that?
I was a female in that one, yes.
Okay. So where do the teachers come from?
It's hard to tune into that because...
Did they come from that place?
It's like they came from the nothingness. So usually I get like a visual when you ask me a question. And it's like no visuals kind of came up. It's like it's like I don't know where they came from. They didn't really share. Like they were mysterious. No one really knows.
I see. They just sort of just turned up.
Yeah, and they've been part of this civilization for a long time, and it's just accepted that they, you know, are there.
They just do what they do.
But yeah, no one really knows their story.
I see. They're just mysterious.
Yeah.
That's okay. And tell me, as that woman there, did she have a family or anything like that in those times?
She doesn't feel close to a family. Like it felt like she came from this family and she, you know, it was noticed she was different and she was showing some sort of skills and abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And then so her family took her to this temple when she was young, maybe like 5 or 6. And then they remembered who she was. Not that she could remember them quite yet. And then
she was too young, sort of thing?
Yeah.
Did she stay in the temple, did she?
Yeah, she lived there.
Oh, she lived there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it felt like she was there for a long, long, long time, just really focusing on how to work with frequencies and energies,
mm-hmm.
and you know, and how to create things like into matter and healing.
Mm-hmm. So what did she do? What did she do with all the information that she was learning?
It's like she was becoming a library, like an Earth library and an intergalactic library. It's like she just kept what was she doing with it? It's like she kept on learning for like a later time. Like a time would come when her skills would be needed for the world. So it felt like, yeah, a really long time. Like it could even be over 100 years, you know, because she could decide how old she was and how she appeared, because she got really good at working with energy. So it's really hard to tell how long, but it feels like she was there for at least 100 years,
mm-hmm.
just waiting until it was time for her to use kind of these skills.
Mm-hmm. How did she use them when she did use them?
It's like sometimes she could help people, like, you know, as individuals with their, you know, illnesses or, you know, emotional things, like if they had big things happen in their life. But she was more about the bigger picture. Like what she was learning was really to work with, work with the earth and, you know, help with weather. She could work with weather. almost like a beacon. It's like she was becoming a beacon, and she could, you know, if the world needed, say, like peace, then she would become that, and she could radiate that quite far. Like an antenna, and then it, like the whole world could feel it. Yeah.
And you said she did some stuff.
I just felt to share that, like she had. That's why like it took a lot of training, because like that could be, she could be used as a weapon as well, if that makes sense. Because so she had to do a lot of training in herself, because she was scared to, because she could feel how strong her powers are and how it rippled across, that, you know, she got it wrong herself, like, because she could feel it literally like a ripple go out.
Yeah.
And she feels the interconnectedness. And, you know, one thing, maybe peace was like, that's not a good example because everyone loves peace, but say she sent something out that might be good for 70% of the world.
Maybe joy or something like that.
Yeah, and then maybe 30% it wasn't going to be in the highest good. So she could feel that, like she would feel for that 30%, and she would feel it like it was happening to her. So that's why it took like a lot of training.
It sounds like there's a lot of power there, and it could be used for anything basically.
Yeah, because energy can change into anything.
It's just energy.
Yeah.
But it's how she chose to use that energy.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, it's like, and she just wanted everyone to have, like, to be good for everyone's highest good. Like, and that's why it would take a long time until she kind of exercised any of that power. Like,
Until she felt comfortable with it, sort of thing.
Until she knew that it would be of the highest good for everyone. It needed to be.
Yeah. And you said so that helped her planet there, but you also said something.
It feels like Earth though. It feels like an old ancient civilization here. Like I feel like the Earth has gone through many reincarnations, and it was like a long time ago. Like all this is forgotten about now. There's only traces of it now.
So what was civilization like back then? Tell me about that.
Well, the temple felt different, as a different kind of representation of what the civilization looked like. And that's really all she properly knew, like a black, almost obsidian kind of pyramid.
That was where she was sort of just concentrated herself.
Yeah, that was like her home, and where she could train. But she seemed to have this, she could see like the other civilizations. It looked like, I don't know if it was Egypt, because everything just feels all at one at this point, but like lots of stone work, like sandstone. Like it wasn't colourful really, it was kind of like the desert colour. Yeah, and like very basic kind of buildings. And so this temple like she was in is very advanced to like what the rest kind of look like.
So it stood out.
Yeah, it's hidden. Yeah.
Oh, it was hidden?
Yeah, it kind of was like, I think that's why it was kind of like this dark obsidian kind of colour. It could kind of cloak in a way.
Just sort of camouflage?
Yeah.
Sort of thing? And what did the people look like back then? Did they look the same as...
They felt smaller than me.
They're smaller?
Like I felt like if I look at it, you know, she feels quite big. There may be just under her hip height or something like this. Very simple clothing.
Or was she big?
She was just big. She was different to them. But I think because she could decide as well. Yeah. But the people were kind of wearing like very basic kind of linen cloths. Very basic. Yeah, they weren't very advanced back then, I have to say. It's kind of a different feeling. Like there was nothing bad or good about, like they were just kind of just existing, like
just different,
they're just kind of just existing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they didn't really have these concepts of spirituality yet. Like not yet. It feels very very long time ago.
Mm. Beautiful. And you said something before about that planet, the planet Earth, but also intergalactic knowledge. That they were teaching as well.
Yeah, she worked with the stars a bit. Her main focus was just the Earth, really.
Mm.
Like it looked intergalactic, the temple and some of the technologies in there, but yeah, she wasn't that focused. I don't know.
She didn't tap into that too much. She just sort of knew it.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's weird. It's like almost like she had something on top of her head to kind of stop that access as a distraction.
Did she put that on there, or was that her
No,
choice?
I think those bald-headed people put it on her when she was young.
Ah, okay.
To stop the distraction, just focus here.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
And tell me, was she the only one that was getting taught all the stuff, or were there others?
I feel like at that time she was the only one, and she was there for a long time. Then it feels like she knew of other people in the past.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the feeling is that she had that gift and it was recognized, and there was others that potentially like were training. Well, they weren't quite a vibrational match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there wasn't really anyone like her, but there was a feeling that, there could be.
They sort of have potential.
Yeah, like she just didn't understand why other people didn't know how to work with the energies. They could, like, create so much beauty. Like they could create whatever they wanted.
Mm.
Yeah, and she couldn't always understand why they didn't know that.
Sounds like she was very different.
Yeah.
So what made her different in that aspect? Sounds like she was very, very special.
Yeah, that's a good question. It's hard. It's like that thing on top of her head is sometimes blocking some of the information of where she came from. Yeah, it's like they don't want her to know, like, how intergalactic she is. That must be where she's from, because I can't find the answers in the Earth.
Are the teachers there?
Yeah, the teachers are there.
Can we ask them a question? Is that okay with them?
Yeah, let's try.
Yeah, doesn't hurt to try.
Yeah. They're telepathic, but we're all one.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they don't want me to know, and now I'm getting annoyed. Like, where am I? Why am I different?
What makes her different? She's very different.
It's so weird. It's like it's blocked from me, and it's like this disc. It just floats.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like however, like is that 10, 20, 15 centimeters above my head. It's like this gold disc, which is blocking me from knowing.
Can I ask them, is that to protect her?
It's to stop the all-knowing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's to stop the all-knowing.
So
she needs to know the one before the all-knowing. They're cryptic.
Can they clarify what do they mean by that?
It's like they might have trouble with discernment. I'm getting a bit annoyed with them because I would like to know this answer too. It feels like it would answer a lot of things. It's just like the kind of saying, like, I or she's from like the higher realms, kind of like an interdimensional being.
I see.
Like a higher advanced soul, and in order to be of the earth, like on the earth, like protocols have to happen to for her to be able to exist. She can't have the all-knowing yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even though she wants it?
They're just trying to make her three-dimensional. They're just trying to push her, I guess, like, to stay on the earth, to stop her floating away, becoming the energy. Like, she could just disappear into, like the air.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And tell me, how do they feel about her?
They feel pretty neutral. They're like, they don't really show much emotion. I kind of make fun of them sometimes. I just because they don't really exhibit much, and so I have to use my imagination to make them more interesting. Because I, spent a long time in the temple with these beings.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of got a symbol on their forehead. One of them is like an oval,
mm-hmm.
and the two kind of little bits come out down the bottom and a couple of dots, but they all kind of feel like they've got their own symbol on their head. I guess that's how you differentiate them, because they all kind of look the same.
I see. So it's their own markings?
I guess so. It's a signature there. Mm-hmm. The energetic signature. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And can I ask them, how do they feel like with the girl there? Do they feel like she's learning pretty well?
Yeah, they feel like she's ready. Yeah, she's ready.
Ready for what?
To use her abilities.
Mm-hmm.
They have to make sure, it would be safe too.
Mm-hmm. So why did they choose her?
Because I think it was almost, almost like a prophecy. Like they knew that these kids would start being born here. They came here to prepare for them a long time. They came. I'm just waiting for them to start to be born. Like, just kind of like the more, like, almost like seeds. It's like she was born to become this seed to advance the civilization. And, we came from somewhere. Like, keep showing like out through the stars somewhere. And we were reincarnated here.
Mm-hmm.
Just to... Because the energies on Earth weren't being... Like, there's so much potential and possibility here on Earth, and the people weren't recognising that. Like, they're just, like, working with stone. Like, their brains were almost like stone. Like, they're very limited in their range.
Mm-hmm.
And these star kids these seeds were being planted to help advance them, to start giving them more range, for them to start recognising, like, they are powerful, they can break out. It's like they were almost stone. She was trying to break them open to be more spirit,
mm-hmm.
be more spiritual, and to feel the energies, and to, just to advance.
So it's sort of just advancing the civilization.
Yeah, they were really slow. It was like almost like frustrating watching them, like little lemmings, just not really having a purpose, and it just seemed like a big waste.
Mm. So who made that decision to bring the ones from the other planets down to Earth and do that?
Well, Arcturians just came to mind then. It's like a few of the different galactic groups got together for plan, like what to do with, the beings on Earth. Yeah. And there they decided they would send, some commanders is just a word, but there's just an example, like people with leadership skills that could potentially work with these beings, with the energies on Earth, who would help advance it. And so she was like one of the early ones. I don't think she was the first. It feels like there was another that it just didn't go well.
I see.
Yeah, I think that's why they were more careful with her, and they put the disc on top of her head because of what happened to previous seeds.
They're just more cautious.
Yeah.
They just sort of learn from it.
Yeah, yeah, because they're pretty powerful, these seeds. It's a very big responsibility. So she was maybe like the third or something that came, and then there was others after, and eventually kind of these beings started to open up over thousands of years. I feel like she was very frustrated. She's just like, come on, guys.
No wonder they had to put that thing on her head, because she could have just got too frustrated and zapped straight back.
Yeah, it's like she could become the universe kind of thing.
Yeah.
If they took it off, is the feeling. Like
she'd be out of there.
Like, just like, because you see the greater picture and just realise all is love anyway, whatever. But yeah, like they had to put that disc to kind of...
just to keep it there, sort of thing. In a loving way.
Yeah, to keep her in a task. Yeah.
And tell me, so have those teachers there, have they been on the earth for a long time?
The what, sorry?
The teachers there.
There's not many of them. Like, there's probably like maybe only 3 or 4 in this temple, and they were kind of, kept there in secret for a while because no one could really see them. Like, kind of more cloaked. The temple's kind of higher up, whereas like the rest of at least the town nearby, maybe it was Egypt, I don't know, just because it kind of looks like pictures I've seen before, but they seem quite lower on the ground on the flats, whereas the teachers were in this kind of weird temple thing, kind of up high. But they didn't even know how to access like that height. They could even really, they're still working out tools, basic tools. Did
they even really sort of care that they were there in the temple?
The who?
Did the normal people, did they even care that the others were in the temple there, or?
The normal people didn't really know it existed. They didn't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those teachers, were they there right from the beginning, when the first generation of the Starseeds came down?
Yeah, I feel like to start with there was only maybe like 1 or 2. Now that like they kept on sending like extras, build up over time, but there wasn't many, and they feel very old. They feel like very old, ancient beings. They're very different to me. That's why I had to make like games in my head to kind of make it more interesting being around them. Like I was gonna say they just capture themselves, but that's because they're just telepathic.
Well, they sort of make very matter of fact and didn't have much fun. Yeah,
they were just kind of on task. They're like, this is our job, this is what we're doing, and I respected them. They felt wise.
Can I ask them why are they even doing that? Why didn't they just leave the planet there just how it was, and civilization just how it was?
They said it's part of the greater plan.
What do they mean by that?
It's like Earth was lagging behind. It's like the other parts of the universe were vibrating quite high, and the Earth was just doing its thing. It was like,
just cruising along.
Like losing the race kind of thing. You know how there's always one like really dawdling. And it needed to be lifted up so that it could support the entire kind of universe and universes. And Earth was kind of like heavy, slow, like the intelligence didn't feel that high on it.
Just dragging the chain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so that was part of the greater plan to bring it online. I don't know if it had been online before, like just the words were bring it online, to light it up. It was like a spare tire that hadn't really been used before, and to weird visuals I get.
So was it quite a young planet, or like a juvenile planet?
It just always had been there, kind of tucked in the back, and yeah, now it's quite an important planet now, because of like all of these missions to try and lift it and advance it. It's now got like all the attention on it now. It's like now gone from being very forgotten about to being almost like the star, like, oh my God, because there's been so many different seedings now and so much kind of play, intergalactic play to activate it. It's kind of doing things that no one has never seen before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's a bit unpredictable at the moment. And they're kind of like, oh my gosh. And so yeah, the eyes are really on it now, so it's become a very interesting planet.
So was there more starseeds from other places as well?
Yeah, like more came after me. Like I don't know if I ever met like another one, and I was okay. I wasn't lonely. I knew I was, unity. I knew I was oneness, but yeah, it feels like later there was less people doing it on their own. There would be 2 or 3
like
seeds.
Teams
yeah, come together and they feel like brothers and sisters, and then more and more over time. Then it just kind of changed. Like they didn't need that kind of seed. Like, yeah, and there was kind of like a sense of like once the people on the earth started to activate and tap into like their God source, then they were more so of a vibrational match for other intergalactic species to come and then I guess mate, to breed with them.
So what was the purpose of them breeding with them?
Was the same thing as to keep lifting the earth. Finally, like there's like new strategies happening all the time, and it was just kind of like an idea of like, let's try this because finally we're at a vibrational level. But
so they had to wait for.
Yeah, they had to wait for the human beings to start switching on, and as I said, to tap into the God source. Yeah, and in Earth years it took a while.
And then so the other ones came down and bred.
Yeah.
Bred them.
And then that helped lift it again, but now there's so many different energies happening on here. It's a bit chaotic. So say for her back in that temple, for her to look into the future, it's such a vast difference. Then like not many people, there wasn't that much energy on the earth. She was creating it, like beaming it out. Whereas now, it's like because of the interbreeding and all the energies flying that have been introduced here, or like the skills, there's so many like different types of energy on here. That's why it's be like a bit chaotic at times. Like I see it kind of pulsating. If I was to zoom out on Earth and see the Earth, see all these kind of different colours of energy, it's just can get a bit chaotic. Yeah, we're just kind of missing that harmonious peacefulness, like when it was simple times. But yes, there's been a lot of introduced galactic species, I guess you could say. And yeah, it's almost crazy looking at it from a distance. In that comparison, if you were to flip back to then to now.
So what happened to the girl in the temple then? What happened on? How
I
did
think
she
she
leave that?
just decided to die. Like I think she kind of got to the level like, okay, I've done my job. This is as much as I can kind of lift everybody up or open their third eye.
She's sort of done her piece.
Yeah, she was like, oh, okay, that's my mission complete. And then she just kind of almost like clicked her fingers and then turned into, nothingness, but everything. Yeah, and then she just went on to the next part. So she just decided.
What was the next part that she went on to?
I think she went on to another life on like another planet. Yeah, but she was eager to get back to the Earth. She She wanted to come back and she wanted to try out like being a being on the earth, whereas a bit different to how she was the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted to kind of be one of the people.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
I wanted to say odd, but kind of fun at the same time.
Did she remember? Did she remember who she was?
Because she was, I think, trying like almost comparing it to how she, when she was that beautiful giant, or like that beautiful, this energetic being. Like when she came back down to be like a human, she kind of found it almost like I keep trying to like expand out of that. Like she felt very held in.
Very confined.
Very confined is the word, yeah. Like with what she could do.
Was that in the body? In
the body, yeah. And with the energy as well. Like, it felt like more heavier, more confined. Literally see her with her hands, like, trying to push out of her body, like, well, is this all I've got? Is this all my range to work with?
It's very, very limited.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
So did she remember who she was beforehand? And
when she came into that life, she decided to be on the earth as a person?
Yeah. Or did she just completely forget?
Oh, I think she had a knowing. Like, she became, like, frustrated because she had a knowing, like, not a complete knowing. It didn't feel like it mattered, but, yeah, it felt like she was frustrated and just tried to make the best out of it because, it goes so fast. Yeah, maybe a bit boring at times, but she really had to use her imagination.
Just to keep her
stimulated. Keep things interesting, yeah. The people, like, they had advanced a bit, but it's still a bit hard to kind of relate to anyone. Yeah, and so she's almost like just killing time, really.
It sounds like it sounds to me like she was like very much a pioneer on Earth, just advancing, just trying to do a piece to advance it. She must have a connection if she wanted to come back down. Yeah,
well, it's like the big kind of cosmic experiment. It's interesting. It's never been done before. So,
on any other planet, you mean?
Ever. Yeah, it's just different. It's like the beings on the earth are wired up. Like, they've been wired up to really expand, but they don't. They have great potential, but no one really knows what their potential is yet because we don't really know because they're so different to anyone else out there.
So is it sort of just adapting, is it? Just adapting to the energy that they're giving off and the chaos down there? Or?
Yeah, it's like, well, the mission is for it to, to raise it, to get it online. But now it has, it's kind of, so unpredictable, as I said, but it's just, we don't know what they're going to do. they're just different to us. It's almost like, the visual I'm getting is like, they're almost like, being made out of Play-Doh, and they've been given, they've been wired up a certain way, and just kind of sitting back to watch what they can do. But it's been a bit of a mess. Like, there was, because of the influence from other galactic societies, there was some unwantedness, kind of bred in there. Like, we've got our allies, but then we've got, the unsavory ones. And so some of them have come into play as well. And so there is no control over it, really. Like, there's no real knowing. Never before has so many different things mixed. It's
So how come the unsavoury ones were allowed in? And is it just open to anybody, was it?
Yeah, it's because of the free will in a way. Yeah, I'm not really sure. It's just like no one had ownership of it. It just is there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
So is that still the way it is now?
No, it's like there has to be some governing over it now.
It got to a certain point.
It's like,
so it got to a point of...
It's like certain representatives from the different galactic societies like came together to form like a governing body in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Because there were some problems like with the mixing.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to keep the earth herself safe as well. As the beings, but there was just like there was a time when there wasn't much harmony, and there was a bit of a worry. So the governing body has now been formed, although we can't really say they have like 100% control. There is no control over the earth. Like others can still come in if that we can't entirely block them, but there is now, I guess, like a net around it, and they've been really being analysed and watched at this time.
Like they're on notice, sort of thing.
Just really watching.
Mm.
And there's meetings, like they get together and they'll discuss certain things for the earth or for the people.
Mm-hmm.
Where that never happened before. It was very open.
Mm. Yeah. So tell me more about these meetings.
Yeah, it's like they don't actually physically come together because
it's like telepathically.
there's different kind of, different, talking about different dimensions and different kind of fabrics of makeup, and so it's like they can zoom their consciousness to come together, and it's like that meeting. I wanted to say meeting of minds is how we might understand it, but it's just like they just come together and meet. And it's telepathic. There's no need to talk with our mouth. I just pause because there's just so much like that happens in the meetings. Like there's a lot of disputes and different thoughts about how things should go. No one really knows.
So how do they resolve it? How do they resolve
any conflicts and things?
Yeah.
They kind of just share their opinions. And just because like the meeting is like formed from such different
perspectives,
I guess aliens or whatever, like different representatives that act so differently. Like some come from such a different kind of place, and no one really has that full understanding of how to be physical, physical with all that love and that free will. Like not everyone understands the free will, so the meetings don't really like sometimes come out with much. It's just like a lot of trying to work it out, if that makes sense, and not much resolution. But it feels safe. Whatever's happening, it feels it was taking, maybe it was a bit worrying at one time. They got rid of some of the unsavory ones, try and bring it more harmony. It feels like it's okay. It's just more like, whoa. It's just different to anything that's ever happened ever.
Yes, unfamiliar. So is there many that have the meeting? Is there many in the meeting?
Maybe like 10 or 12 or something.
I see.
Yeah. Some of them just kind of represent like clusters of systems.
So who decides who represents them?
I think they just kind of know. There's ones that just kind of hold, the stories or the greater wisdom of their parts of their systems, and so it's just a knowing. It's not like here we get elected or anything. It's just like, oh yeah, the record keeper should go, or
So have all those representatives there, have they all sent some of their energies down to Earth to have Earth experiences?
Not all of them, like some of them have, but not all. Yeah. Like some of the genes wouldn't mix here, for example.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can understand why there's discussions there then, because it must be very hard for the ones that haven't sent, like the delegates down to have the Earth experience, to get the feedback maybe. Whereas the other ones have, sort of thing.
Yeah, and it's like a cocktail of all different things that have been shaken up, like with new ingredients, like ingredients that have never mixed together before.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So how do they feel like Earth's going on the Earth's timeline now? How do they feel about that?
It feels like Earth has never been as activated before. There's a lot of strong energies, like some are good, some, are to do with being separated, as an example. But there's very, very strong pulsating energies on here before. Like we've never had like such strong and opposing energies on the Earth before. But that isn't necessarily a bad thing, because it's like people they're finding their power, like how powerful they are. Like finally there's people waking up going, oh my God, like I'm not a little lemming that goes to my 9 to 5. Like I'm God's source. People are recognizing that, but they're still learning how to use that power. So it's kind of like right now, the equivalent of like a kid on a bike with the training wheels taken off. They're becoming powerful, it's still a bit unsteady.
Still a bit wobbly.
Yeah, and so, there's a lot of, I guess, kind of, heated opinions and things that are happening right now. People are finding their voice for the first time, which is wonderful, even if it feels like it opposes like another, like on a galactic level, on a universe level. It's really fantastic that awakening is happening, even though we think like some humans think that there's a lot of people who are speaking out who are opposite to them. It doesn't matter. It's great. It's fantastic. The main thing is that people know that they're powerful and that they're loved, and they will find that. They will remember how to balance that out. But yeah, we're just kind of standing back now, just kind of watching. It's like a flower coming into full bloom.
Just observing and seeing what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Beautiful. So is there any new souls that are coming down? Like new ones?
Yeah, they feel really light. It's like just kind of looking at them now, kind of flinging in. It's like they like ding, like straight into the earth. It's like almost just water, like bubbles of water. There's like no impurities inside of them.
They're just pure.
Just pure, which makes me wonder how it will go, because it's so different to like all the other kind of energies that are on the earth at this moment. Like these pure ones coming, they almost feel too light to almost even to be on the earth, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't like really know how that's going to go. I think
to wait and see.
Yeah, I hope the best for them. I feel like it could be a bit hard for them to start with, because they can't relate to the other beings and the souls here who've really seen a lot.
Yeah.
There's ones here that have always been here.
Yeah.
And for a new one to come and stand side by side, if you to look at them energetically, it's so different. Yeah.
How do they think they're going to go? The council there, do they think they're going to be okay?
Well, the idea of them coming was to try and bring that harmony and that peace about, because they're so like unaffected by that. They're so clean.
They're just pure.
Yeah, and so that's the idea, is they kind of like will come different parts of the earth and then kind of link up and try and sing their song as a whole, as one song.
Mm-hmm.
Like they want, I like that, they're one song. So that's the idea. And then that will help kind of to bring the peace that we all know is coming. We just need a few more to come because there's gaps. So if we were to picture the earth and one's coming around, there's still not quite enough for them to sing their song as a whole. But it will happen. We're just waiting for some more volunteers. I think it's harder to find like that exact frequency. I feel like that could be the thing.
The pure ones?
The pure ones, yeah. So we're just trying to find more of them to get that link around the whole earth so they can sing.
So what's going to happen to the other souls on Earth, the older experienced ones?
Because they have that song inside of them too. It's just they've got many layers. If we think about a rock that's been there for a long time, you can look at all the sediments and but in there somewhere is that same signature song, that same energy in them. And for some reason I feel more preference towards the ones that have been here and experienced more of this. It's like I'm more like cheerleading them on. But yeah, they will start because they're very important. They're very important. We keep on looking for like these ones who are going to come and save us, and I feel like it kind of overlooks almost like the soldiers, like the ones who have been holding the earth together for so long.
Yeah.
I feel like we forget them, and my heart like it seems to like really be with them. And these nuclear kids, kind of like the new kids on the block, there's a bit of a difference between the two different types.
The other ones just got more experience.
Yeah, and I love them all, and they will, they have that in them. They just have many more facets, I guess. So I feel like sometimes parts of the other parts of the galactic kind of world, the universe, kind of can frown upon them sometimes for being more heavy, denser energies. But I really like them. I think they're really beautiful.
They've just got layers put on them.
Yeah, they've got so much beauty. They're like art pieces. They were a blank canvas, but they've lived through stuff now. Whereas these new ones are literally like just blank.
They're just fresh.
And I think we need to remember that everyone is important. It's all beauty, and it's all important. All the colours and shapes and emotions and facets of beings, parts of everything, the shadow and the light.
So tell me, can I get your opinion of what's happening with the Earth now? With the shake-up, there seems to be a bit of a shake-up going on. What's your opinion on it?
I felt a bit funny in my stomach then. I think because I feel like the way I'm looking at the Earth, like I'm looking down upon it with the rest of the Galactic Federation, or they get given many different names. Because I'm looking at it from their perspective with them, it's like we all feel different about it. I feel like everyone keeps waiting for the Earth to be a certain way, and I just keep thinking, why can't we love it the way it is? I think that is the key. I think we, like the people on the Earth and Kali are in this body, like we all need to remember, like everything that is happening now is beautiful. And I feel quite sad thinking about how people keep trying to change the Earth, and I think that's what really creates the separateness, is us thinking that it's, it needs to be pure, it needs to be a certain way, and I think that causes great divides in individuals, where we just need to remember to love it for who it is and what it is now, and for everyone's full expression. So, yeah, to answer the question of what you asked is, I just feel quite emotional. I feel like that's a big key. We keep on waiting for to be saved. We forget that we are all one. Yeah, I think I get annoyed with the others, like the other galactic ones as well, just trying to manipulate it all the time, like to try and make it something that it's not in that moment. Yeah, but it's always going to be fine. It's just that it's doing this dance that no one's seen. Like, we've got this wildness that jumps out. So but it will all come into harmony. Like, in the greater picture, we just need to zoom out and it all will settle. But then it'll all start happening again. It's just the nature of how things work. We can never be still and stagnant in one thing. If we did, we would never reincarnate. We would stay on that planet and be that same being forever.
Nothing will ever change.
Yeah, and so we just need to remember the earth is always going to be moving and fluctuating, and no matter what happens, like what we're faced with here, we just need to remember that.
Is that what makes Earth so
beautiful.
Unique? Because it's always changing and adapting and evolving and...
Yes, yeah, not all planets do that. Some are just the same always.
Mm.
Like there's no variety in emotions or just the general day-to-day of things.
Mm.
Like the day-to-day, sometimes there is no day that turns into night, it just is.
Mm.
Whereas here is so full of change.
It's just change.
Yeah.
Is that what makes Earth such an adventure?
Of course. It's exciting. It's unpredictable.
Mm.
Whereas other places are just predictable. So, yeah, it's really beautiful here. Yeah, I feel really connected to it here. Like I feel almost like crying just because of how people keep wanting to change her.
There's nothing wrong with her.
Exactly. In the knowing of that, like everything is perfection. We keep on looking outwards and, for something else to happen. But yeah, we just forget that we can just love it now
and just enjoy it for what it is.
And that is the perfected state. Like it's almost like a mind disease. Us always trying to do that. And when I say us, like I mean, all the galactic and all the different influences here. It's like,
it seems like it's trying to get a balancing act between everybody, between the galactics there.
Well, it's like the way I've shown it then to explain, like an aquarium, like a fish tank, like a normal fish tank. And then someone's like, oh, let's put a shipwreck here. Let's put a bit of coral here. Let's introduce this fish. Let's breed with these different fish together. Yeah. It's kind of what's happened. Am I moving along now? It's kind of like I'm in space. It's like black lava or something, like moving me. And this kind of weird kind of spiral movement.
Cool.
It's kind of fun, like I'm moving with it and twisting. Maybe it's being reborn. Yeah, it's like I've just been born. And yeah, I feel really fresh. Like, really light. Yeah, I can go anywhere now if you have any questions.
So do I have permission to ask a few questions, please?
Of course.
Thank you. Thank you so much for showing her all those things today. They were absolutely amazing. Now, I know you could have shown her anything, but why did you show her that experience of her in the temple and learning all that knowledge? Why did you show her that?
It's like she needs to learn like how to master her energy here, otherwise it will be manipulated by others.
Let's see. So how do you want her to master her energy then?
She just really needs to sit and clearly identify things, like just really, really look at them, and use her gut to kind of navigate through situations more, to trust herself more, and then she'll be okay. Like, she will always be okay, but yeah, things will be a lot more simpler if she could just trust her gut.
Does she not trust it now?
And because of how we talked about how much energy is happening on the earth now, and how she helped seed that energy, and her interconnectedness to it. It's like she still feels part of the collective energies, and she just really needs to hone in on her own
energy. Yeah, because you were saying it was a bit chaotic. From that perspective, there's a lot of...
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, a lot of different energies now. So you want her to focus on her own, just her own energy?
Yeah, to navigate her own storm, not the world's storm, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Is that just concentrating on her, basically?
Yeah, really. Yeah, she finds it complicated at times because she just really feels so connected to the world and to the earth. And yeah, she just almost needs to imagine herself in like a snow globe where there's, a bubble around her, and what happens inside that bubble is her climate and her responsibility. The rest is not, her responsibility. She affects it greatly as well, and she's very powerful. And she has that remembrance of how to be that beacon, how to, pulsate things into the earth or into the world to kind of influence people.
Yeah.
That power still scares her now. Like, she knows that, she can walk on a plane, for example, and just like let off something, that she thinks is going to be peace and protection for herself, but might be different for another. But yeah, she still knows she can do that. She walks into spaces and can do that, and she just needs to know now that that's not her responsibility, what is happening for the others. Like, if she wants that, say, protection on a plane, or to feel protected in a room or something like this, for example, she just now needs to imagine being in that snow globe, put that bubble around her, and just only do that to herself.
Not for anyone else.
And to know that that's okay. She can definitely do that to herself, because she feels like she's had to hold back just in case someone else is affected. It's just a silly old thing, really. But yeah, she could just keep visualizing. The snow globe is perfect visual. And I feel like she'll start mastering that a lot more. Not that she's not masterful at it, it's like the opposite. Like, she's like, it's like one of her greatest gifts of being here, really, is pulsating energy out.
Why is she here?
Why is she here?
Yeah. Why is she here on Earth having this experience?
Well, it's kind of like the visual I'm being shown is almost putting like a lid on the bottle, like finishing things. So she's been here from the very beginning. We're trying to seed things, and then she's come back because she's sown herself in and out of the earth a few times with its evolution. And it's like she's just come back to kind of put that bottle and lid, like a little full stop of her work, I guess. So
I see. So it's just sort of finishing off a few things?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, she just wanted to be here during this time.
Oh.
It's like, it's almost like she didn't really have a choice because it was kind of required. The energetic signature that she holds was really required for this time. And many were called back from Atlantean times and times before that. Like we've all come back for now. So yeah, just to
go through the experience.
Always to finish things, but why would that be the word? It's like because the earth is still going through that doorway. It hasn't quite flipped yet. It hasn't quite
transitioned.
Yeah, that's the great word. Yeah, so yeah, we all had to come back to be here for that. It's like we had to.
And right at the beginning, you showed her she had a choice whether to be the girl and have a bit of a challenging life, or to be the man who had a nice cruisy life. Why on earth would she pick the woman's life, the little girl's?
It's like, why not? Do you know, like...
She said it sounds more challenging, so she'll take that one.
Yeah, I've got other friends who have come here and they've chosen that easy life. They're kind of like, you know, laying on the couch just watching it all take place, and I kind of think that's stupid. Like, why not be part of it? Like, you know, we helped create this. We're all part of it. Why not be of it? Be of the world. Yeah, I really love the world. Yeah, and I do love its challenges. I really think that's what makes the art of life. Yeah.
It's certainly not like those other planets that you were saying about. They were boring and predictable.
They're just doing their thing, very steady. Yeah, so that's why I chose to be the girl and come back. Yeah.
And what did you show her the Galactic Council? Yeah. That was amazing. Thank you for showing her that, because there was a lot of information there. It's certainly not one uniform, all love and peace, and they're all individuals, aren't they?
They're all individuals. Yeah, I guess that was shown for a couple of reasons, to kind of show that how diverse we are here. We're of their making and our own making, and free will flying out everywhere. And yeah, she's always felt connected to them her whole life, because I guess it was just part of her, and she knows she can call upon them. It's just like normal. Yeah.
Beautiful. Is there anything else that you feel is important that you want to cover about what you showed her?
Maybe like I keep on showing like in that life where I came to Seed. At the start, I had that golden disc above my head to stop the access of like the all-knowings.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. I feel like that kept on coming up for me, and it could be related to what's happening with me at the moment.
How is it related?
It's like, because I feel like crying, because I have so many knowings. Like, I keep remembering creation, like in this life. And it's like I chose it to be on my head still, or others put it there. It's a bit of a blur, but it's like I don't really need it anymore. It was just to kind of hold me onto the earth. Because I would remember like how powerful I am with my potentials and possibilities, and how I could become anything at any moment or create anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like been holding me so that I'm still here for what is happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's giving me a headache.
It was interesting because that disc or whatever it was, whenever she remembered a few things, it would actually wipe her memory. Like, because her amnesia, and then she'll learn a few other things, and then she'll get to a certain point, and then it would wipe her.
That's funny because I forgot that I said that. Yeah.
Is that similar to her life now? She seems to get to certain points, and then it just goes,
Yeah.
dang, it's just gone.
Yeah, she gets close to, I wanted to say all the answers. It's like she starts to put her hands through and know the game.
Yeah.
Like in the hilarity, like how funny all of this is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
There's an interesting statement because they said before that they didn't want her to know the all-knowing, they wanted her to know the all-in-one.
Oh, that's beautiful.
What does that mean?
It just means unity, that interconnectedness. That's why I was showing the crystalline jungle forest at the start, and being connected to the air, which touches you. The air touches a plant, and so therefore we touch the plant. And that's, knowing the all one. And like how I was showing that, although there are people with opposing opinions, like I still love them because it's what makes them beautiful. It's not bad. It's just a different paint on the canvas. And it's just recognizing like another is, although it's different, we're just, that cliche that we are all one, and that they are part of us, that is us. We are all the shades and the colours.
Now you said that you didn't really want that disc that's on there.
It's giving me a headache. Yeah.
Well, what do you feel like the solution to that is?
I feel like it's time to pack it up. The visual I'm getting is that we could like just... There's no button for it, but I could see it folding up and just like going. Because it feels like, like metals. Like it feels like metals in my head. Like it feels heavy. It hurts. Yeah, how can we make it go away? How can we bring about harmony again and thrive? I feel like you've got some questions that could prompt it more.
Does that have anything to do with what's going on in your head?
Yeah, it does.
In what way? Yeah.
It's like I try to control my brain to... Yeah, it feels... My heart's going fast thinking about it. I think because I'm really over it. It's like to stop me fully like being myself. It's almost like it feels like control. Like there's metals in my head to control, to suppress. And yeah, I feel really sad about it. It's not fair. And I feel like it's happened to others. I think that's what hurts me as well, is knowing there's others that are going through this too, and it's not right. It's yeah.
And you said before that you felt like you put it there.
Initially, like in that previous, like that kind of first life here, like those bald-headed people,
the teachers
were part of it, putting it there. But I had an understanding about it. But now, like the others on the earth have lifted up, with me, and some have even surpassed, which is so good. It's like it's not really needed there anymore. Like even in this life, like that happened, and I needed it perhaps earlier. things are changing very, very quickly on the earth, day to day. And we're advancing so fast now. It's like we can just pack it up and make it go. And it feels like I should introduce some detox protocols. It feels like my brain has been affected by some earlier vaccines when I was young. My mum didn't know. She knew from the rest of my sisters. I've been shown maybe 3 that had some metals in it. And then, with the fillings, like that was major. That influencing, that continuous feeding to kind of keep my brain suppressed. Like, it's feeding something in my brain. Like, I don't know, kind of been shown it's kind of like a virus or something, like an EBV, or it's like that but not. But it's, anyway, that's kept on feeding it. And so I need to get that out of my system so I can pack up that disc above my head now, because that's done. And
thank you, goodbye.
Thank you, goodbye. Like, I actually am really thankful for it. Like, I feel
it's done its job well.
It's been amazing. I really needed it when I was here, but no longer. The earth is doing an amazing job now. And then just to get rid of that continuous feeding from my teeth, from these fillings.
So is that feeding it an energy sort of thing?
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's like, I've been shown it's like a virus, but not like, maybe not one that we commonly know. It hasn't been recognised yet, but it's feeding that, and it's kind of hurting my brain.
So what does the virus not want? What is it scared of?
Clay. There's some sort of clay I'm being shown to put with water. It's like, is it bentonite clay? It's something like that. It's like a grey, kind of whitish powder, and it feels, if you hear that sound, it almost sounds like that when you touch the clay. And like a fair bit of it I'm being shown to drink with water, like keep it pretty strong, and to drink that even 3 times a day, maybe just once a day to start with, and then build up, because it will be quite strong as it starts pulling it all out.
Let's see.
But I feel like we could, like, I just so believe, like, with that disc on as well, like I have more range in my energetic abilities. I feel like we can ask for a lot of it just to go. Like, now it's more of a choice. Like, I choose to be better. I choose to thrive. I choose to live a beautiful life with Marty and have our babies. Yeah.
So that's a choice that you can make now without that disc.
Yeah, I choose that. I can create my life, and out of everything, that's what I choose most. That's what I want most. So I choose to be better. I choose to get off this chair and just be amazing and live a beautiful life. I've paid my price now. Like, I've fulfilled so many contracts now. They're done. Like, all my contracts are done.
Is that putting the lid on closing the lid on things?
I've done all my contracts. Like, I've done what I can for the earth, and now it's time. I choose to thrive now. I choose to be in service to myself now.
Beautiful.
To my heart. I choose to be in service to my heart.
And how does your heart feel about that?
I'm so happy.
What about the rest of the body? How's the rest of the body?
It feels good. It feels like a little bit like the Tin Man. You know, like, it feels like once I get off this chair and integrate the next few days, it's like the oil will come into my joints, and I'll start to feel better and better and better every day. And like, I wholeheartedly choose that it's time to thrive now. And I feel like the earth is really happy for that choice. We all need to choose. and my contracts are done, and I feel so happy about that. It's like literally seeing paper ripped in half and throwing it up like confetti. And yeah, it's like
the disc is gone.
The disc is packed
It's
up
almost
and
like
gone.
it's almost like it's sort of just time to be free and just create and just
Exactly.
just use that energy again and just create whatever you want to create again.
Exactly. And what's better now is like it seemed cool going back to that other life, you know, being that, you know, that almost like a god on the planet almost. That wasn't the word really for it, but the people thought she was a god.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that seemed really cool, but like this life is like way better than that because it feels more connected to the people now, whereas before, remember, I didn't feel like I could connect to them before. But now it's time to connect, and the people on the earth can now see each other eye to eye level now if they choose. Whereas before it was harder because there was so many imbalances, but it's just they're playing a stupid game now. They will. I guarantee you, if we took somebody who say hated immunizations and then like the vaccine, this fake vaccine, and then someone who loved it, we put them in a room, maybe the most extreme people that we know, voicing both sides. Like, if we just put them in a room together and like no other distractions, there would be so much peace. Like,
they're actually the same person.
They're the same person. Like, they'll see each other in each other's eyes and remember. It's just that we're being tricked now, you know, by so much distraction, because that's the only kind of card that, you know, that they've got now is to try and distract us. But if we could just be still and be with one another, like, and I feel like that too. From that first life to now is like I really feel like more connected to people.
Yeah, a lot more connected. Yeah. And speaking of connection, she's very connected to the lands and reading the lands. Tell me about that. Why is that?
She sees the land like a painting. Like she can. It's like the Aboriginal people. Like they're the oldest people here, but it's like they came from somewhere else first. And she was with them then. She was part of that. She's been part of many different times, but it's like, part of the time before time. And
it was a special time? Or unique time, maybe?
It's just like the time before time, the time before land. And then it's like the Aboriginal people like sang things into physicality. I mean, they had a different name. They got a different name in the universe. But they sang things into physicality, which is why like we see the paintings that we do with all the dots and the formations. They're actually sound signatures. Yeah. And so that's what the sound created the earth. Like it created physical things. And see, she can tap into that. And she can just like straight away see the earth like a painting, like with the sound energetic signatures. And so she kind of hears the land and can read it. And so that's like where that connection came from. So it feels like it's like very part of her, because she was from the time before time, the time before land. Yeah.
It goes way back.
And it feels like if she can paint more like that, like there's a healing journey in that, she can decide. She can just take paints on a canvas and use those sound signatures to create the life that she wants, or create the thrive that she desires. And call it in. It's like hidden in plain sight. It's why they stopped us. We're told we couldn't paint like that. That oh no, it's only reserved, you know, unless you're Indigenous. But we are all Indigenous. Like we've all come from the time before time, time before land, and that's been stopped. Like it's because of how we look from practicing that, because it is so powerful. But I think it's a beautiful exercise for anyone with putting consciousness into it, not just blah, to really sit and to design your world like that. So she can do that. That's easy. But yeah, she likes to teach people these old rememberings because she remembers more than most, which is why she had to have the disc. Because otherwise too many answers were going to get given out too soon before people were ready.
Yeah.
So often she feels backwards because she's so forwards, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So she was often told when she was younger that, oh no, like that's not the way, because she was thinking so like advanced.
Yeah.
And then she would almost feel confused, like almost dyslexic, because she was told she was wrong, and so she felt it was, slow or stupid or wrong to think like that. She would often feel stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was actually advanced.
Yeah, just too far into the future, which is kind of what I think all that kind of stuff was about with their head as well.
Yeah.
Just wasn't ready. It feels different now. It's time.
And what about her great-grandmother? What's her story?
Blackie, they called her Blackie, and I think she was okay with that. She just thought people were stupid in a way, the white man giving her that name. But it's like she sung forward. It's like she would sit in ceremony, which was as simple as sitting in front of a fire at night with clapsticks. It's like she sung in the future. And so it's like she sung a lot of like her stories. I think she was afraid because she had 2 kids. She had twins, and to like a white man, he like was a cattle master. Like he actually loved her, but as a society didn't really acknowledge it. And she had twins, and one was whiter and went to a school taken away, and that was great-grandmother. Yeah, because Blackie was a great-great-grandmother. Yeah, and so because her kids were getting taken away, she felt her future literally splitting. And so she sung forward, like her culture into like the future kids. And it was sung to all of the kids, really, all the future grandkids and great-grandkids, but they kind of caught it.
So that sounds like she sort of put the vibration out, like a radio signal.
Like that sound, the sound creates. And so she sent the message. She sent like a light packet. We could look at it like a light packet. She caught it. And so she is now so connected to that world, to the time before time. It's like almost hidden also. Like she was really smart.
It's hidden in plain view.
I think it's happened a lot all over the world where there are people who just start feeling so connected to like the indigenous way of things, but they get condemned by other people because they're so white. But they've actually caught the light packets. There's lots that have, because they were really smart, our ancestors, singing it forward. They sung it forward to protect it, because there was, they were trying to take it away. And they almost did a good job at it. They nearly annihilated like the dream time.
They tried to.
Yeah. But they're smart. So now her brain is coming back online. She'll be able to hold all the cognitive abilities, able to properly learn and enjoy.
Beautiful. So just going back to her head, and how's that looking now?
It's feeling like it's resolving a lot more. I can feel my overall body lightening up, like it feels lighter. So I feel like it's like it's almost like shriveling up whatever is in there causing it. There's still that residual heavy metals, that the clay, and I'm pretty sure it's bentonite clay. that still needs to be done.
For how long? Could you say take?
It feels like for 3 weeks, build it up. Build it up to like up to 3 cups, so it's really thick. I feel like you don't even need that much water. We just want it really thick. And it'll almost be like a meal, and it'll probably, you know, be pretty annoying to take all the time, but she has to do it. So build up to 3 weeks, and then she can start having less and less. And then what else would support that? It feels like something fizzy. Oh, maybe I'm just being shown it dissolving. Yeah, it's almost like I'm being shown the visual of it, like almost like lead disc in there.
It's like bubbling sort of stuff.
Yeah, and the stuff will help dissolve it and bind it and take it out. Lots of water. She needs to drink lots of water.
So because I was going to ask, how is it going to release from the body?
Yeah, she just needs to make sure the lymphatic channels are all open, and sweating would be really good. Yeah, maybe like a infrared sauna, and just finding ways to sweat it out. Like a hot bath, using things to draw it out would be good, and just take it easy, because it will feel full on at times. It will feel like it's really pulling out. So yeah, hydrate. Yeah.
Is the body going to feel any effects when it comes out?
It'll mainly be felt in the head. Like it may get worse in terms of migraine level headaches. But it'll be okay to stay in a dark place when that happens. You know, cover your eyes in the light and just drink lots of water and be really easy on yourself.
Just sort of sit with it.
Yeah, it'll resolve. It's, it will take time. Like it does. It took a while for it to build up, and and just remembering miracles every day.
The what every day?
Miracles every day. Just remembering that.
He is one.
We choose to thrive now. Yeah. And it's going to feel good, like, to move again. I'm really excited, like, to feel active and to get back into dancing. Movement feels really exciting. Yeah.
What sort of dance they recommended to?
Oh, like just any dance, like ecstatic dance. She loves that, where it's all encompassing. She used to do a lot of that, so yeah, it'd be really nice to do that again. It's like I'm going to find new levels of my body, like, that I haven't known before, like real health. It's like I haven't really known true health in my body before. Like, it's going to surprise me. I'll feel young.
It could be exciting. Is there anything that you want her to cut out of your diet or to add more of?
I'd like to include fish, but be careful where it comes from with the mercury. Be really mindful of its source. Yeah. I keep being shown seafood, but it needs to be as clean as possible with heavy metals.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be really good. Yeah, and just lots of greens, just as many whole foods as possible. Yeah. Like, cut those oranges and squeeze them. Like, just start from scratch. Keep things basic. And as the mind clears, like, I'll be able to follow my intuition more to choose the right eating. Yeah.
And how does she keep in touch with you so she can keep this channel nice and clear, so then she doesn't need anyone, so she can just connect straight with you?
She just needs to tap for me. Like, just choose a symbol. Like, just call. So, a really great way for her would be to sit still and go back to the snow globe and know that what she's hearing and experiencing is just herself. And then she'll know that she's in communication with me, with her. Yeah.
And what about her two guides that are there? And how does she want to
I love
talk to them?
Yeah, she's able to do that now in a way. She knows she can just like look for them and they'll be there. Like they're always there, but she just all of a sudden remembers.
Does she just have to ask?
Yeah, she just has to ask because they're kind of cloaked. You know, we can't be overly stimulated all the time with these things. So, you know, if she needs to see them, it's more that she just needs to remember their feeling, like the feeling of like it's safe now, it's okay. Yeah, so that she's in that ship, and you know, the storms feel like they're not going to be that big now. You know how we talked about the puzzle? Yeah. It feels like, because a lot of the pieces are there now, it feels like there's not many storms now. It's going to be a lot
easier, more manageable.
More manageable and, more freedom to create what she wants. Yeah. And to let go now of the limitations because of that disc that has been there so long. She may still feel limited to what she can do, like building up her confidence, and that's understandable.
Yeah.
So she just needs to remember now that it's all gone now. And,
is that why you wanted her to have this session?
Yeah, to meet herself. Like she just knew that she could tell herself what was happening. Like, lots of people have been reaching out to say that they could support her, help, but she just always knew that she could tell herself, and that's why she loves Qhht, because it goes to the pure source, and that's why she's here.
Cool. Is there anything else that you feel is important that you want to tell her?
Just that she's loved and it's all going to be okay, and maybe write the letters thrive somewhere. That's like her motto this past year, just to write it because she's bringing it into reality now. Yeah. Do you have any other questions? Because she's quite open if you have any questions.
And that's all the questions that she had on here.
Yeah, great.
Thank you so much. That's amazing. How's she going to feel after this?
She'll feel really light, just lighter and more joy in her body, and because the disc is gone now, she'll start to have like more connection to the times in the past and the times in the future. But she's a lot better now at being grounded. Like that disc really helped her to be on the earth. And so like it feels like she'll be quite open to talking like in a future session, or just like channeling like the old history of the earth. Like it feels very easy to do that. She feels a lot more open about it. She always had glimpses, but now it's like she could really tell a story rather than just have little bits of visuals. Yeah. So I feel like her channel will be open more, which is really great because you always felt like blocked. Yeah.
That's because that's what the job was.
Yeah, so it's gonna feel really freeing.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Is there one last parting message that you want to give to her?
The earth is in celebration for us all. There's enough joy for all. Bring it to I don't know. It feels like it's just a channel that's starting to open, and it'll become stronger, but it'll be like that. Do you know what I mean? Like she'll start on a thing, then it'll start to fade out, but it'll get better and better.
Just keep going with it.
Yeah.
Just like riding a bike.
Yeah, just keep, keep practicing.
Yeah.
Keep practicing. Write more.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.